Hi everyone and welcome to today's webinar. I'm really glad to have you here again. My name is Onyinyechi Iwochukwu and I'm the product sales specialist at HugoHost. And today we'll be talking about cracking the website backup code. But before we go any further, if you have any questions during the course of this webinar, if you have any comments during the course of this webinar, do not hesitate to leave them in the comment section. A moderator will be right there to attend to them. I will not be able to attend to them myself because I want to give you all my undivided attention. Now, before we go further, I would also want to urge you to stay to the very end of this webinar because there will be something at the end of it and I do not want you to miss it for anything. Now, the goal of this webinar is to talk about how to back up the website or your website, learn how to back up your website, what tool to use to back up your website, and also the benefit of using this tool, which will be introduced to you during the course of this webinar. So let's begin by asking the first question: what is website backup? But before we even go ahead to answer this question, I want to throw a scenario to you. I want to give you two scenarios and I want you to be very imaginative about it. Now, imagine you owning an e-commerce website that is going just well. You've been making massive sales from this and your business dream is becoming a reality. And then all of a sudden your assistant informs you that your clients cannot get the contents of your website on the internet anymore. They can't even see anything about your website on the internet anymore. And that can be very scary and very devastating. Then let me even bring it further close to home, right? Imagine if you own a phone that uses a memory card, no matter the size, and one day you just discover that you cannot gain access to your files or to your pictures or to your videos, all those personal memorable things that you've always had on your phone, and you cannot really explain why. Now let me give you the answer to that. That is called data loss. It's called data loss, and most times you will never be able to get back those important videos or pictures or files that you have on your phone, and you don't even know the reason why. That was, that's the issue there. So website backup is the creation of copies of all the content of your website, which may include text, images, preferred settings, so many other things, and keeping it in an external source, which could be a cloud or a local hard drive. Now, what could be the possible reason for, backing up your website? What could be the possible reason for doing this? The reason for backing up your website or your phone storage is because you want to be able to access those documents, those files, those images, those videos at any point in time, regardless of whether your website crashes or your memory card malfunctions. Do you understand what I mean? So, how does your business lose without a website backup plan? Which means, what are the effects of data loss? One is loss of work, 2 is loss of money, and 3 is loss of time. Now I'm going to explain each of them. Now for the first point, which is loss of work. The longer your website has been live on the internet, the more money you have made. Now that means that you have a lot of content, you have a lot of images or graphics, you have your preferred settings, you also have your themes, and you have these marketing channels that you already have on your website that you cannot afford to lose. So if you do not back up your website, you could lose all of this in a blink of an eye. Then the second point is loss of money. If your website is making money for you, you can attest to the fact that you will lose a lot of money if your website ever crashes. But the financial losses doesn't just stop once your website has been restored. And I'll explain why. Now, when your website crashes or malfunctions, your customers or your clients or your visitors lose, faith in your website. They don't trust your website anymore, and then they might decide to go for your other competitors. Now, for a small business owner, if you own a website, you can imagine how much visitors you would lose, which could leave a devastating effect on your business. Another drawback of this situation is that you would not have new clients. You will not be able to get new leads or new clients. because they will not be able to see your website at all, or someone must have told them that your website is not longer accessible, and that will make them just not go there at all and go to your major competitors. Then the last point is loss of time. Now, how long will it take to restore your website? Hours, days, weeks, months? You know what? You can never be able to make up the time that you have already lost once your website crashes. If you're fortunate enough to actually have your website restored in a timely manner, then good for you. You can run your business as usual. If not, every minute you waste waiting for your website to be restored will cost you and your business time. Now, moving on, why do you need a website backup? You may be asking this question, why do I even need a website backup? There are many reasons why you will need a website backup, and I'm going to give you 4 of them. 1, your website can get hacked. 2, your website can break after an update. 3, you could delete a file, or you could, disrupt a script accidentally. And then the 4th point is that you can always try something new. Now, I'm going to explain them as well. When I'm talking about your website can get hacked, I'm saying that the malware used by cyber criminals can spend an entire day looking for or breaking into weak websites. They might want to steal your business data. They might want to steal important personal information of your clients or your visitors. And the most outrageous one is even holding important data for ransom. Now, even if you do not keep important information on your website, because I know some of you may be thinking, I don't keep important information on my website, so it's not really important for me to get a website backup. It is. Even if you do not keep any important information on your website, these hackers can nevertheless harm your website in many different ways. However, if your website is backed up offsite, you may restore them quickly, limiting your loss of money, your loss of time, and your loss of work, and also the interruption of service, to your clients or to your visitors. Another reason why you will need a website backup is because your website can break after an update. Do you know that themes and plugins can clash at any time? A problem that breaks a portion of your website or takes it offline could arise after an upgrade, and you might not be able to access the control panel to address it. So this is where the website backup thing comes in. If your website is properly backed up, you can easily restore to a previous version and continue your operations. Now, the 3rd point of why you would need a website backup is fear of deleting files accidentally. You can accidentally remove a crucial file or maybe play around with a code while working at the back end of your website. And this point especially goes to those people that have full control of their websites, both the back end and the front end. Now, this issue can be resolved with a website backup before the majority of your users can even notice that something has gone wrong. Now, the last point here is that you can always try something new. Now, this situation occurs frequently. You might want to test out a brand new marketing strategy that calls for some changes in your design, in the design layout of your website, or your graphic layout of your website. The only way to know if this thing works or this strategy works is for you to test it out. Now, you can conduct this test without hesitation or without worry because you have a website backup available to you. So you can always restore the earlier version of your website again if any issue comes up when you try something new. Now, what are the traits of a good backup solution? The best website backup solution provides 3 primary things to your website. 1, it is effortless. 2, it is secure. And 3, it is instant. Now, when I say effortless, I mean that the backups occur automatically, allowing you to avoid worrying and wasting time on them. Now, when I say it is, or they are actually secure, I would say that the backup files are stored off-site on multiple servers in duplicates in so many versions, ensuring their security at all times. Then the last point is instant. At any time, you can request for your backup, and with the click of a button, restoration takes place immediately. Now, what is the best website backup tool? Let me introduce you to CodeGuard. CodeGuard is a fully automated website backup service that gives complete protection against data loss and malware. So what does that mean? It means that CodeGuard takes automated snapshots of your website. These snapshots can be used to restore your entire website or a specific file to an earlier version at any time. So for CodeGuard, you can have multiple backups and one does not override the other. So what does CodeGuard offer? CodeGuard offers a lot of services, or it has a lot of benefits, right? But I'm going to keep it very short and simple by picking just 4. So we're going for unlimited files and database. We're going for file change monitoring. We're going for full automation, and the last one is one-click restores. Now, when we talk about unlimited files and database, you are only constrained by the amount of storage that you have available to back up your files and database. So the more storage you buy, the more space you can have to store more files and more data for your website. And the second one is file change monitoring. CodeGuard will notify you via email if something occurs in your website source code. The third one is full automation. When I'm talking about full automation, I'm saying that it has a completely hands-free setup. It regularly backs up your website and sends automated error notifications if anything at all goes wrong. Then the last point is the one-click restore. You know what makes CodeGuard backup even better? You can always restore your crashed or downed website with just one click, and you don't have to wait for over hours or days. Now, these benefits and many more are the things that CodeGuard will give to you and your website. Now, I want you to keep it in mind that your websites are stored in servers offered by Amazon Web Services Simple Storage System. You can retrieve backups from any particular day by using CodeGuard if your website files are ever compromised on your server for any reason at all. Now, because CodeGuard backups are periodic, or would I say daily, your server is not overworked at all during the process. Now, the next thing we're going to talk about happens to be the plans for CodeGuard. Now, you can choose, like I said before, you can choose your desired plan and amount of storage for your website based on your budget. So if you look at this, you will see that you can toggle this according to the amount of space that you want, and that will in turn change the amount that you will pay for it. So depending on your budget, depending on the size of your pocket, you can choose any any storage size of your choice. It's very flexible. Now, if you have stayed to this point, I want to say thank you. You are an MVP and you are in for a reward, because we're giving out 10% discount on any CodeGuard backup plan that you may choose. You will find the link of that in the comment section, so I will urge you to take advantage of this offer. It is one important thing I would like to note here, is that your hosting provider is not obligated to back up your files or your data. And even though they can do that, even though they do back up your data, there is no guarantee that it will be available. Why? You won't be able to get multiple copies of your website data. You will only be able to get just one. So the best way to have full control of your website is to have a website backup tool that is integrated into your website. That way your websites are done automatically and perfectly. Now, moving on to the next point, we're talking about the summary. So we're here at the summary now. I want you to understand that backups are an affordable way to have peace of mind and know that you will avoid the devastating losses of time, money, and website content that will impact your business negatively with a site crash or in an event of a site breakdown. So with that being said, my advice to you would be for you to get a CodeGuard backup plan today. Now, we are at the end of this webinar. I really hope you learned something and that you will use this information to make a better informed decision to back up your website data. Now, thank you very much for joining me today. It was a pleasure sharing this knowledge with you. I really enjoyed doing this, and I'm looking forward to seeing you get a CodeGuard backup plan today. Now, my name is Onyinyechi Iwuchukwu, and I am the product sales specialist at HugoHost, and I'm here to say thank you and do have a nice day. Thank you.